I'll try and make this brief as I've messed this up at least 12 times already. There's already a book that exists with the same name as this series. I'm not going to change the name of the series as that book focuses on Gestalt therapy. This series is clearly named after something different and focuses on something very different. I'm not going to change it, and I'm probably saying Gestalt wrong. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. With that said, please enjoy the first episode of Integration and Growth. Okay, this video is long overdue and I have delayed putting something new and substantial onto here outside of yet another update for a very long time. I'm going to skip the formalities of most of my videos on this channel as they pertain to my old dry mental health series that has been retired and will likely be retiring other documentaries on this channel. Instead, I want to approach this channel from two sides. One will focus on exploring the traumas of the mind through horror stories, and the other will focus on healing said traumas through exploring a psychological model that I am developing as of this video. The current name for this model is Integration and Growth Therapy, but it is still a work in progress. This video will also serve as a final grade for one of my classes with my university, so this video is the end of something as well as the beginning of something new for me. I hope you will be able to join me in this journey and work on developing this model for others to be able to see. With that said, I want to start the series off by talking about a little bit about three models that have influenced my perspective on therapy and how they have been an influence on my budding model. I also want to explain how these therapy models are utilized in the current day and how much validity they hold in our field of counseling. I'm not going to list the names of the people who developed these models, nor am I going to go into the history of them. If you are looking for sources on these three models, I suggest looking elsewhere. This is purely a video where I want to explore my model in the first half and explore the other three models as well as demonstrate how they would work in the second half. Consider this a bit of a performance as well as an exposition of my own work or thought for your viewing and listening pleasure. Future videos will likely include sources and references, but I was specifically instructed and advised to avoid them for this video. So, academics and armchair psychologists, this is your warning. Let's begin with my model, the Integration and Growth model. What do I mean by integration and growth, and why am I focusing on those two words specifically? Those words primarily serve as a label to summarize and encapsulate four major concepts that overlap with one another. Those concepts are trauma, attachment, socioeconomic status, and cultural identity. These four components to my model are essential in understanding cultural dynamics and trauma as they relate to the development of attachment styles in various cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds. This model is fairly flexible compared to other models and can ideally be used in multiple contexts. I will be working on refining this model as the years move on and will hopefully one day utilize it in practice. How this form of therapy would manifest is still being ironed out as far as techniques are concerned. What I want to do is focus on first outlining how this model focuses on and builds upon previous models and schools of thought while aiming to refine and provide its own lens for perspective and therapeutic advancement. Let's start with the first of these. Existential Therapy. Existential therapy focuses on trying to help a client find transformation and growth through self-ownership of one's past and trauma. It poses that through the choices we make, we are able to overcome our struggles. An interaction between a therapist and our client, who we'll just call Jose, would go as follows. Tell me about yourself. What's happened since our last visit, Jose? Well, I found myself drinking again after our last talk on Saturday. My friends invited me out and I found it hard to resist. It sounds like you feel that resisting alcohol is a difficult choice to make, but it's one that you recognize that is a good choice for you to make. Yeah, I find it really easy to slip back into my old habits around my friend Felipe. He always knows how to drag me along for his antics. Like with most things in life, Jose, the people we keep around and the things that we choose to consume are subject to us as choices. We sometimes need to make hard decisions that we don't want to do in the moment. in order to have better changes later in life. Do you understand? I think so, yeah. Remember, only you can make these decisions. I'm here to help you as much as I can. Just keep in mind that the choice is still yours to make. Next, we'll move on to discussing narrative therapy. Narrative therapy. Narrative therapy is a form of therapy that focuses on helping someone change the stories that they tell themselves regarding their past experiences and regarding the people in their lives that they interact with. Narrative therapy poses that everyone has a story that they'd like to tell about themselves and poses that we are the editors of our own story, as well as the co-editor of the stories we are involved in, such as our families or communities. Let's use Jose as an example again. How do you feel about your progress that you've made with abstaining from drinking? I don't know, Mr. Duran. I keep finding myself slipping further and further. No matter how many times I tell myself that I can do it, I keep finding myself slipping. You've been doing a good job so far. You've been able to keep from fully relapsing for over a month. You have made a great amount of progress, and you continue to find improvement. I've been doubting myself lately. I've been unsure of how I wanted to keep going. My mom called me yesterday and told me that she wasn't coming over, like she planned she would. I suspect it's because I'm trying to keep wine and beer out of the house. At least, that's what I tell myself. It seems like you see your mother as being a part of the story involving your addiction. Maybe she might see alcohol as a way to spend time around you, even though you want to spend time around her sober. Have you thought about trying to explore this with your mother? I mean, we don't regularly talk, and she used to come over to my house to drink and spend time with me to get away from her husband. Oh, so she is married to someone other than your father. Do you think that the reason you are caught in this loop with your mom is because of the dynamic that she has with her husband? Yeah, and it makes me want to drink more when I hear about it from her too. It's a bad habit that is hard to avoid when she shows up. Perhaps you can explore this problem together by looking at it as being separate from you, as a book that you can change and write in new parts. Try looking at this problem as a play. You both are in the audience in a theater, and you see versions of yourselves acting on stage. You can write things down on a sheet of paper to make the story change. Maybe you should give this a try. I mean, it's worth a shot. And lastly, before concluding with a bit more of my own model of therapy before wrapping up this first episode of this series, let's focus on dialectical behavioral therapy. Dialectical behavioral therapy. Dialectical behavioral therapy is a form of therapy that focuses on using the approach of dialectics to influence the behavior of someone in a therapeutic setting. Dialectics involves at least two people, often consisting of the therapist and the client, and the tug and pull between two separate ideas to arrive at a greater conclusion in truth, often one where the therapist tries to help the client achieve transformation through the dialectic. We will enlist Jose one last time for demonstration. So, your checklist at check-in today said that you were feeling suicidal and having suicidal thoughts. Do you feel like you're comfortable enough to talk about it? I don't know what to do, Mr. Duran. I see no way out aside from drinking myself to my grave or getting myself there sooner. I can't avoid the bottle. I can't take off any more time from work. I'm on the brink of losing my job. I can't live like this. You're right, you can't keep living on the brink like this, but you can live on without the bottle, without the everyday hangover, without the late days to work. You can do it. How? Literally how? I can't even make it to work on time half of the time. It's just not worth the struggle. You saw it worth the struggle to come here. You're here for a reason. You wouldn't be seeking change if you completely gave up. Part of you wants to be here because you feel that something can change. Well, I have my doubts. Everyone has their doubts. Doubts don't tend to be worth ending one's life over, though. You have a lot of potential to keep going and make it out on the other side of this stronger, healthier, and be able to stand strong in the face of addiction. We can do this together if you keep coming and keep working with me. Will you do that? I'll give it a chance. Conclusion. Obviously, all three of these scenarios today have been shortened and condensed for the sake of time and my sanity, but I do hope that you enjoyed this video and hope that you will be able to join me on this journey as I continue to develop and refine this model further. As for how my model will work and be utilized in regular client sessions, that will be explored in future episodes and will include far more research and a deeper analysis behind which techniques best suit this model. Like many models that came before it though, it is only as useful of a model as how much it is practiced. And with that, I thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you like this and sub to the channel if you want to join me on this journey of psychology, counseling, and development. With that said, stay safe, don't die. Oh, you're still here after the end of the video. First of all, why? Second of all, thank you, I guess. Guess I can give a little update before I head off for another month or two. I'm not going to be able to make videos probably for at least a month or two after this. I'm going to have some extensive procedures done, and I won't be able to actively be posting anything for a while. I'm not going to go into all the details of that because I want to say this in the nicest way possible. It is none of your business. But with that said, I do hope you did enjoy the video, and I hope you'll stick around to see what else I have in store. There will likely be more of these videos in the future. I just want to space them out over time so that I can develop this further. And while it may not be a huge development in terms of the display of visuals, it will be a greater strength for me to take the time to develop this content in general. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.